Hey everyone, welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. You've been following energy fuels, ticker symbol UUUU, and you want to get a handle on what's driving their recent stock performance, especially that big drop. Well, we've got you covered. We dug into the technical analysis, the latest news, and the overall market trends to give you the full picture. Is energy fuel stock a falling knife you should avoid, or a hidden gem worth picking up at a discount? Let's find out.
What's interesting here is that energy fuels stock is down despite some positive operational developments. The market seems to be focused on the short-term risks and the overall uncertainty in the uranium sector.
Let's get into specifics. Energy fuel stock has been on a downward slide, hitting a 52-week low of $4.19 on February 27th, and closing at $4.02 on February 28th. That's a significant drop from its 52-week high of $9.02, a year-to-date loss of about 23.2%.
And the technical analysis is flashing some warning signs. We've seen a pronounced downtrend since late 2024, and the stock recently broke below its 100-month moving average. This death cross pattern often suggests further downward movement.
For those who might not be familiar with technical analysis, can you explain what a death cross is and why it's significant?
Sure. A death cross occurs when a short-term moving average, in this case the 50-day moving average, crosses below a long-term moving average, such as the 100-day or 200-day moving average. It's generally considered a bearish signal, suggesting that selling pressure is increasing and the stock's decline may continue.
And we also saw a very high trading volume during Energy Fuel's recent drop, right?
That's right. High trading volume during a decline usually means there's a lot of conviction behind the selling, which adds to the bearish sentiment.
So the technicals are looking pretty grim. But then we have their fourth quarter 2024 earnings report, which was released on February 27th, the same day the stock hit its 52-week low. It was kind of a mixed bag, wasn't it?
It was. On the one hand, they reported a net loss of $48 million for the year. This is likely what spooked some investors. However, they also had strong uranium sales at $81 per pound, which is a positive sign. Plus, they started commercial production of rare earth elements, which is a significant development we'll discuss later. And importantly, they have a robust balance sheet with $213 million in liquidity and no debt.
It sounds like investors might be overreacting to the net loss and overlooking some of the positives in that earnings report.
It's possible. The market can be short-sighted sometimes. Investors often focus on immediate results rather than the long-term potential.
Let's zoom out a bit and talk about the bigger picture. What's the current state of the uranium market, and how does that impact energy fuels?
The uranium market is facing some headwinds. The price of uranium is currently below $60 per pound, well below the $100 level that many producers need to be profitable. While Energy Fuels has secured some sales at decent prices, this overall uncertainty in the market is making investors nervous.
So even though Energy Fuels is doing some things right, they're still vulnerable to these larger market forces.
Exactly. No company operates in a vacuum. The overall industry conditions play a huge role in a company's success.
Now, despite the market's negativity, Energy Fuels did have some positive developments recently. They acquired Base Resources, which expands their heavy mineral sands projects, and they secured a deal with the Navajo Nation to resume or transport from their Arizona project.
Those are important developments, but I think they've been overshadowed by the negative sentiment surrounding the company's stock price and the uranium market in general.
Can you explain why those developments are so significant? Particularly the Base Resources acquisition. What are heavy mineral sands, and why should investors care?
Heavy mineral sands are a group of minerals that contain valuable elements like titanium, zirconium, and rare earth elements. These elements are used in a wide range of industries, from aerospace to electronics to renewable energy. By acquiring Base Resources, Energy Fuels gains access to significant heavy mineral sands deposits in Madagascar and Australia. This diversifies their business beyond uranium and gives them exposure to these high-growth markets.
So it's a strategic move to reduce their dependence on the volatile uranium market and tap into new revenue streams.
Precisely. And the deal with the Navajo Nation is significant because it allows Energy Fuels to restart ore transportation from their Arizona projects, which boosts their uranium production capacity. It also strengthens their relationship with the Navajo Nation, which is a key stakeholder in the region.
So we've got this interesting situation where Energy Fuels is making strategic moves for the future. But the market is fixated on the short-term challenges. It makes you wonder, is this a temporary setback for Energy Fuels? Or is there something more fundamentally wrong?
That's the million-dollar question. The bearish signals are strong, and the overall energy sector isn't performing well.
But could the uranium market rebound? And if so, how would that impact energy fuels?
It's certainly possible. If global demand for nuclear energy increases, and there's a growing awareness of the need for carbon-free energy sources, the demand for uranium could surge, driving prices higher. If that happens, a company like Energy Fuels, which is a leading domestic uranium producer, could be well positioned to benefit.
So it really comes down to your outlook on the future of nuclear energy. If you're bullish on nuclear, then energy fuels might look like a buying opportunity despite the current risks.
That's one way to look at it. And it's worth noting that some analysts, like those at H.C. Wainwright, are still optimistic about Energy Fuels. They lowered their price target, but they maintained a buy rating, citing the progress being made on the Toliara heavy mineral sands project in Madagascar as a key driver of future growth.
Okay, so we've got some conflicting signals here. Bearish technicals and a shaky uranium market on the one hand, but positive developments and potential long-term upside on the other. What should investors be watching for in the coming months to get a clearer picture of where Energy Fuels is headed?
Upcoming earnings reports will be crucial. We'll need to see how their production is progressing, how they're managing costs, and how those rare earth initiatives are panning out. Those will be key indicators of whether Energy Fuels can weather the current storm and capitalize on any future rebound in the uranium market.
It sounds like Energy Fuels is a bit of a gamble right now. High risk, but potentially high reward. It's really going to depend on how those long-term bets play out.
That's a good assessment. It's a company with a compelling story, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Let's dive a little deeper into those long-term bets. We talked about the Base Resources acquisition and its heavy mineral sands projects. What makes those projects so attractive?
The key word here is diversification. As we discussed, the uranium market is cyclical and currently facing some challenges. By expanding into heavy mineral sands, Energy Fuels reduces its reliance on a single commodity.
You mentioned the Toliara project in Madagascar earlier. What's the potential there?
Toliara is a world-class heavy mineral sands deposit with a projected mine life of over 40 years. It's rich in ilmenite, rutile, and zircon, which are minerals used in pigments, welding rods, and ceramics, among other things.
So Energy Fuels is tapping into multiple markets with this one project.
Exactly, and that's just Toliara. They also have the Donald project in Australia, another promising heavy mineral sands deposit. These projects have the potential to generate significant revenue for Energy Fuels, even if the uranium market remains depressed.
We've also talked a bit about Energy Fuels' move into rare earth elements. What makes rare earths so valuable?
Rare earth elements are essential components in many high-tech products, including smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, and even military equipment. Demand for rare earths is expected to skyrocket in the coming years as these industries continue to grow.
And Energy Fuels is one of the few companies in the U.S. that can produce separated and refined rare earth elements, correct?
That's right. They have a rare earth separation facility in Utah, and they're working on expanding their production capacity. This gives them a strategic advantage in a market that's dominated by China.
So Energy Fuels has positioned itself at the forefront of two emerging trends: the shift to cleaner energy sources, which benefits their uranium business, and the growing demand for rare earth elements.
They've made some smart strategic moves. Now it's a matter of execution. Can they deliver on their promises and turn these opportunities into profits?
Okay, so we've laid out the potential, but let's be realistic. What are some of the biggest risks facing Energy Fuels right now?
Well, the most obvious risk is the uranium market. If uranium prices remain low for an extended period, Energy Fuels' profitability will suffer. They've hedged some of their production, but they're still vulnerable to price swings.
And what about those heavy mineral sands projects? Are there any risks associated with them?
Mining is a complex and capital-intensive business. There's always the risk of cost overruns, delays, and operational challenges. And since these are new ventures for Energy Fuels, they're entering uncharted territory, they'll need to prove they can manage these projects effectively.
And rare earth production also comes with its own set of challenges, right?
Absolutely. Extracting and separating rare earths is a complex and environmentally sensitive process. Energy Fuels will need to demonstrate they can do it sustainably and cost-effectively to compete with established players.
So there are definitely some hurdles to overcome. But for investors who are comfortable with a higher level of risk, there's also the potential for significant rewards if Energy Fuels can execute its strategy.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's a company that requires a leap of faith, but the payoff could be substantial if those bets pay off.
It sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the bearish signals, the mixed earnings report, the shaky uranium market, the promising heavy mineral sands projects. and the exciting potential of rare earth elements. It's a lot to digest.
It is. Energy Fuels is a complex company operating in a dynamic industry. There's a lot to consider.
So with all of that in mind, what key takeaways should our listeners keep in mind when evaluating Energy Fuels as a potential investment?
I'd say the key takeaway is this. Energy Fuels is a high-risk, high-reward proposition. They're betting on the future of nuclear energy and the growing demand for critical minerals like rare earths. If those bets pay off, the upside could be enormous.
But there's also the very real risk that those bets could go sour, leaving investors holding the bag.
Exactly. Before making any investment decisions, listeners should carefully consider their own risk tolerance, their investment goals, and their outlook on the uranium and rare earth markets.
This isn't a stock you should just buy on a whim. It requires careful consideration and research.
I couldn't agree more.
So to wrap things up, it sounds like Energy Fuels is a company with a lot of potential, but also a lot of risk.
That's a good way to put it. It really depends on your investment timeline and your comfort level with volatility.
For investors who are bullish on the long-term prospects of nuclear energy and critical minerals like rare earths, Energy Fuels could be an intriguing play.
Especially if they can successfully execute their strategy and bring those heavy mineral sands and rare earth projects online.
But for investors who are more risk-averse or who need to see more immediate results, Energy Fuels might not be the best fit.
Exactly. It's important for investors to do their own due diligence, carefully weigh the risks and rewards, and decide if Energy Fuels aligns with their investment goals.
And don't forget, folks, past performance is not indicative of future results. What looks like a good investment today might not be so appealing tomorrow.
That's why it's crucial to stay informed about the company, the industry, and the overall market conditions.
So what are some key things investors should be watching for with Energy Fuels in the coming months?
Keep an eye on their earnings reports. Look for updates on their production costs and revenue, as well as progress on their heavy mineral sands and rare earth initiatives.
Also pay attention to developments in the uranium market. Any significant shifts in supply or demand could have a big impact on Energy Fuels' profitability.
And don't forget to keep an eye on the regulatory landscape for both uranium and rare earths. Government policies and regulations can have a major impact on this industry.
So there's a lot to keep track of with Energy Fuels. It's a dynamic company operating in a complex and evolving industry.
But that's also what makes it so interesting. There's always something new happening.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope this has given our listeners a better understanding of Energy Fuels, its potential, and its risks.
It's been a pleasure discussing this with you.
As always, folks, we encourage you to do your own research. Don't just take our word for it. Dig into the company's financials, read analyst reports, and stay up to date on industry news.
And remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't make impulsive decisions based on short-term market fluctuations.
We hope you found this episode of Investing Talk Podcast informative and insightful. If you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, leaving a comment, and sharing this episode with your fellow investors.
We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of investing.
Happy investing, everyone.